So we've taken a few, it's a brief, like a rapid fire sort of thing about a few of your movies and what you feel about certain things. First is, how do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as an actor?
Very bad. 4 or 5.
No, please.
Yeah, seriously.
Be generous.
No, you asking me, you want to ask this question to yourself.
So I'm a huge fan actually. 4 to 5 or something.
There's a lot to learn.
As a father.
Yeah, I hope this really should come to the children because we want to do the very best we can, and I feel that I've done the best. But the actual gauge will come from the children.
As a grandfather?
I need to spend more time with my grandchildren. I know that 2 of them live out of the city. 1 is here. But she's gradually having a life of her own, and we have our own commitments. But whenever I spend time with her, it's the best time of the day.
Okay, what is more important to you, sir? Critical acclaim or box office?
There has to be a very selfish look at this. So if I look at it very selfishly, I'll say, I hope I'm critically acclaimed, and I hope that I hit the box office as well. I think that's a dream kind of a project that every actor wants.
Right.
So I'm particularly pleased about, say, a film like Peaky because we got a bit of both.
Right.
But there are times when your criticism is very severe, yet your box office results show quite the opposite. I guess the box office ensures your next film, maybe not the next critical acclaim.
What? Wow. So somewhere is the box office?
Yeah.
Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, the writer or director?
A human being.
In fact, I spoke to Anurag Kashyap recently, and he said that I was speaking to him about Khwaja Ahmad Abbas because somewhere Bombay Velvet and Mumbai Fables, the book that it's inspired from, it has a lot of mention of that. So he said that the best thing that Khwaja Ahmad Abbas Saab has done is that he has given Amitabh Bachchan to us.
No, Khwaja Saab, we called him Mamujan,
Right.
and he was an exceptional human being, much bigger than his status as a writer or as a director. He had certain principles in his life.
Right.
And it's very difficult to maintain those principles when you live in today's times or in the times when he was alive and we were with him. It's really tough to be having certain beliefs about what life should be,
Right.
about what your mind should be, about how you want to conduct your society. Translate that into your writing, translate that into a film, and never make a compromise. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
And for someone who had so much self-respect on whatever he did and thought, he was in hospital, and he never ever told anyone that he was going there, and he never asked for any help because that's the way his life was. And he sold the rights of his film to pay his hospital bills for a pittance. I mean, that's the kind of character he was. And if anyone had come in between to say, I'm going to give you help, he would have stopped them. When we were shooting South Hindustani, for example, he said that we'll all travel together. So we all traveled 3rd class in a train. We went by road, we walked wherever we had to go to. We stayed in government circuit houses, which were not so well equipped. There were no hotels or anything like that. The whole unit would sleep on the floor like this, in one hall. Cameramen, spot boys, artists, and Abbas Saab. He was there, right next to you. वो अपना होल्ड ऑल होता था पुराने ज़माने में।
जी बिल्कुल।
उसको खोल के सब लोग वहाँ सोते थे। और रात को बत्ती उत्ती होती नहीं थी, लालटेन में वो रात भर वो लिखते रहते थे अगले सीन क्या होगा, what to do. It was amazing. Where do you find people like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, 5 of your most satisfying performances.
Still to come.
Still to come, fantastic. So, best advice that has been ever given to you, and maybe an idea that you feel has changed your life.
मन का हो तो अच्छा, ना हो ज़्यादा अच्छा.
क्या बात है. So, if you can describe these filmmakers maybe in one sentence or maybe a word, Manmohan Desai.
Whenever he came with a concept, we all thought that this is madness.
Right.
But his madness was the greatest credit that all his films got. He was wild in his thinking. And we haven't produced another Manmohan Desai.
Absolutely.
But his extreme thought process was initially laughable, but in the end, he was the one that was laughing. We were saying, gosh, how did that happen?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And he was so convinced about everything that he did. It may have looked absolute. A film like Amar Akbar Anthony starts with three guys lying next to each other,
Right.
and a mother receiving blood from one bottle. The three pipes are going to three people. I mean, it's beyond any kind of medical practicing. And he said, "Man, you know, this doesn't happen. You can't do this." They shut up there. Dekhna bhi kya hota hai. And when the film released, the first shot comes and there is massive applause just on the shot. कि एक बोतल से खून खून होता है, पानी नहीं, और पानी पानी होता है. ऐसे ही कुछ लिरिक्स हैं उसके गाने के चल रहे हैं.
जी.
और एक माँ को 3 बेटों का खून एक ही बोतल से जा रहा है, अलग अलग पाइप लगे हैं. Where do you see this? I mean, it's laughable. But he knew that this is going to get the right emotion. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
So there were stories that many people thought that Nirupa Roy ji is your actual mother.
Yeah, because she was such a proficient, actress, and she played mother to me in so many films that everyone thought that she must be my mother.
Absolutely. So Prakash Mehra.
Prakash ji had a great story sense. His writing was very good. He had great music sense. He was quite the opposite of Manmohan Desai. Manji used to dress up his sequences and make them larger than life, and dress up people, and there was a huge extravagance in whatever he thought and did, and it worked. Prakash ji was quite the opposite. He was very simple in his story was fun. So he would write the scene and you tell me khade ho jao, khade hoke bolna shuru kar do. He would just place a simple camera and we would start talking, and then he said jahan ruk jaoge bata dena. So we limit to how much you can learn. So we'd stop. He said, "Acha, we'll do one more." No, और कैमरा थोड़ा आगे वहीं से थोड़ा आगे ले लिया. चलो एक इधर से छोले, चलो खत्म. His strength was in his writing to perceive a correct story. He never bothered about extravagant sets, and I think the most extravagant set he ever made was in Namak Halal for that Ghungru dance. I mean, he was
amazing.
He himself was very upset by the fact that he had to put up this set. But he never bothered about that.
Absolutely.
And his music sense was spot on. So was Manji's.
Absolutely, both of them, absolutely. Yash Chopra.
Oh, romance. And finer points of it. He was in love with love. And it showed in everything that he did. The way he chose his subjects, the way he chose his artists, the way he dressed them up, the locations that he chose, the way he would shoot the songs or shoot any sequence. And we always used to tease him when he was doing Diwar, which is a very aggressive, rough kind of a film.
Sure.
Totally away from anything romantic.
Ji.
But even there, he was doing a close-up of mine with a zoom. He would come close and then zoom to a flower that was lying there. And used to tease us, "Hey, daga, zara aap bhul nahi sakte romance ko." So he was just filled with all this. And poetry and romance, those are the greatest assets of
Absolutely.
Great maker.
And Sir Hrishikesh Mukherjee, sir.
Hrishikesh trod the center path. Not too artish, not too commercial. Very difficult thing to do. And many people who see people feel that's the kind
Exactly.
of film
Exactly. Hrishikesh
that
Mukherjee. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And he never bent. He maintained that. And he came from Bimal Roy's school. He was his editor and his assistant. But he was a brilliant editor. He was a brilliant director, but he was a brilliant editor.
Absolutely.
And the quality of that is that he would know exactly how the scene is going to be edited. So he would take the shots accordingly. So if some artist was late and didn't come, he would tell, "Ajay, udhar jao, wahan se ghoom ke idhar khade ho jao, ye line bolo, theek hai bas." So, but Rishida, what am I doing? Hey, don't worry about that. You come here. Then somebody else will come after 2-3 hours and take some time. But because he knew how he was going to edit that portion,
Ji.
and he would join it up and it would look as though everybody was on set.
Absolutely.
That was his great quality.
Hi, this is Faridoon Shahryar. For the most interesting celebrity interviews, do subscribe to Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.